Since first stepping in front of the national cameras in 1992, Bill Welychka is MuchMusic's longest-running VJ. Bill joined The Source way back in 2023 when he released his debut memoir, A Happy Has-Been. And with its success, Bill has released his second edition memoir, and he joins me now via Zoom from Kingston, Ontario. Bill, welcome back to The Source.
Thanks so much for having me. This is awesome. I love talking to you guys last time. Because I'm from Welland. I am from the Niagara region. I was born in Welland General Hospital. So part of the book tour for that first edition had me back at the Seaway Mall. So many memories there as a kid.
Now, I've got to say, the Welland Seaway Mall has just celebrated 50 years. So, you know, if you want to head back there anytime soon, make sure you bring 50 candles, eh? So, what led you to write a second book?
That book tour, many book tours. There was stories that were coming up that people were reminding me about that I'd forgotten about, or other stories that I had remembered that weren't in the second edition or weren't in the first edition. And I thought, okay, and the big afterword is really where all the changes are. And I start the afterword of the second edition. So it's the same cover. You'll notice the second edition because it's got like a little second edition thing here. And it'll say second edition here. But the afterword starts off with, if I got hit by a truck tomorrow and died, the story is not complete.
Okay, now 2023 marked the 35th year of over 5,000 interviews. They range from TV stars, royalty, politicians, athletes, and music legends. Can you give us a few examples of who you've mentioned in your new book?
Pretty much every person that I was a fan of growing up. And a lot of newer acts as well. And I think one of the things that the book tours taught me, and just talking to strangers at different bookstores all over the place, was how important nostalgia is to us and how important MuchMusic meant to them. And I've heard a lot of stories. I was hearing a lot of stories about how someone might have watched an interview of mine and got turned on to that artist because they'd never been exposed to them before, or you know, a special that I did on a certain artist, you know, really touched them emotionally. And I was getting all this feedback, and it was pretty amazing. And so to talk about that and to talk about nostalgia and frame it that way about this music video channel in Canada and how much it served a purpose in terms of not just entertaining, but informing and educating and bringing about social awareness to different things. And how it doesn't exist anymore, and how people miss it. People really miss it. And to be there and hearing these stories and shaking hands and signing the books is very touching and beautiful and very moving for me. Plus, I had left broadcasting since the initial book came out until now. So yeah, it all talks about that.
Now, your career has had you mobbed at concerts and you've met your idols. Can you share what that's like for someone raised in Welland? You know, what were those experiences like?
You don't realize it at the time. Well, you know how fun it is, for sure. You know how, you know, you have the best job in the world. Those things register, but what doesn't register, and you need time away from it, maybe 10, 15, maybe 20 years away from it, to look back and realize, my God, I was blessed. I think I am still blessed, but to look back and realize I had to have all these experiences, some of them funny, some of them tragic, some of them took me around the world, spending time with all the members of Led Zeppelin, with Madonna, with Mick Jagger, with whoever, David Bowie, people who are no longer with us. The book talks about death, you know, Gord Downie, Tragically Hip, one of my favorite bands. And so the book touches on all of that, and which is why I felt it needed that second edition. And so to be from Welland, going through all this at the time, I remember when the Welland Tribune came to 299 Queen Street West and do an interview with me when I first started at Much. My mind was blown that people care.
Now, partial proceeds from A Happy Has-Been are being donated to the White Ribbon Campaign. Tell me about this campaign and basically why did you choose it?
Correct. And to one of the cool things about the many book tours and the many places that I went was I donated some money to the local women's shelter. Basically, the White Ribbon Campaign is men joining together to end men's violence against women, and we do that by talking about it, creating dialogue, stopping someone from telling a joke. And it started in Toronto a couple of years after the Montreal massacre, and it is now recognized in like 75 countries around the world. And many of these countries don't even have rights for women. To put it into context, guys at a bar and a date rape drug might be involved, and it takes one guy to say, "That's not cool, man. What are you doing? Please do not do that. That's not cool." We're all the products of women. We all have mothers. Some of us have sisters. Some of us have wives. Some of us are, best friends are women. And to me, and I talk about this in the book, the important life lessons that I've always learned have come from women. And when you realize that, or when I realized that at some point in my life, you realize how they should be elevated.
Now, Bill, where can people get your book?
BillWelychka.ca for more information on the book. Chapters, if your local chapters or local bookstore doesn't carry it, you can ask for it. The ISBN numbers are on the website. Again, BillWelychka.ca.
Now, the most important question of this entire interview, when do you come back to Welland?
It was an emotional day when I went to the Seaway Mall at the Coles there. Right next door, of course, to the Seaway Mall is the big cemetery. My dad and two brothers were buried there. And, that was a couple of years ago. And I must get back again to say hi to them. And
So, Bill, when you do come back, I want you to sit right here on this couch next to me for an in-person interview. How's that sound?
oh, man, that would be awesome. I love that. Thank you so much. Cheers, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks very much, Bill.